Wirral, 100 square miles of peninsula and historically part of the ancient county of Cheshire, is now largely administered as a single unit known as Wirral Metropolitan Borough, which in turn is part of the newer administrative county of Merseyside. Wirral lies between two rivers, the Mersey flowing down from the Pennines and the Dee from Bala Lake in North Wales. It's had links with Liverpool since the 12th century, when monks from the priory at Burton Head began a cross-river ferry service. In 1330, they were granted a charter by King Edward III to run a ferry service forever. From a population of a few hundred, Wirral rapidly expanded with the coming of steam ferries. It became a dormitory for Liverpool merchants, and then later the site for major industries pioneered by two men. John Laird, whose now silent shipyard overlooks his grave in the priory grounds, was largely responsible for the development of Burton Head in Victorian times, although it was his father, William Laird, who laid the foundations. He established a shipyard in Wallasey Pool and the beginnings of Hamilton Square in the 1820s. Burton Head eventually became a new town, and a New Town Improvement Commission was established. Under the chairmanship of John Laird, it was a go-ahead place willing to try new ideas. The new town hall was built. In 1860, it was the first to try a purpose-designed tramway introduced by George Francis Train from America. The line ran from Woodside Ferry Terminal to Burton Head Park. The public park, designed by Joseph Paxton, was the first of its kind in the country. The sale of building plots on the periphery were to pay for the innovation. Parks in other towns and other countries were based on it, including Central Park in New York. The second industrialist, a Lancashire man from Bolton, came later in the century, in 1888, and founded a new soap factory on marshy ground on the Mersey coast and called it Port Sunlight, after his established brand of soap. William Hesketh Lever also built a village to house many of his workers so that they'd have a pleasant place to live. He built the Lady Lever Art Gallery in memory of his late wife. Alongside the gallery is a splendid memorial to the founder, but his true memorial must be the village itself, with its wide variety of housing designed by many different architects. Apart from the two major towns of Wallasey and Burton Head, where most of the population live, Wirral consists of several old villages, Kidston from the 12th century being one of the oldest. St Oswald's Church Tower dates from the 16th century. Kidston has been a conservation area since 1971. The nearby Kidston Hill, with its mill, was bought by a far-sighted Burton Head Corporation in 1893 as a public open space. The mill last worked in the 1870s and is a vantage point for looking towards Liverpool, and was used as a flag signalling point for Liverpool ship owners to notify them of the arrival of ships in Liverpool Bay. Thornton Hough, with its replica Norman Church of St George and Parish Church of All Saints and Village Green, is small but picturesque. It was developed to the way it looks today by Joseph Hurst and later by William Lever, who took up residence in nearby Thornton Manor. Some of its houses are similar to those in Port Sunlight. Parkgate on the Dee was a thriving fishing village and seaport for Ireland, but in the last century the river has gradually silted up, and now the water only reaches the quayside a few times a year at the highest tides. It's a favoured spot with visitors and has a number of historical connections. It's said that when Handel was on his way to Ireland to give his first performance of the Messiah, stormy weather delayed the departure of the Dublin packet, and so he used the unexpected waiting time to put the finishing touches to the oratorio here at Parkgate. Also on the Dee coast, West Kirby has been a popular venue for day trippers since the railways came. It's an area that is partly responsible for Wirral's projected tourist image as the Leisure Peninsula. In the distance, Hilbre Island Nature Reserve is accessible only at low tide. At the mouth of the Mersey, New Brighton, a popular resort from Victorian times, had become run down in recent years, with many of its facilities demolished or closed. Today, it's been revamped by the Merseyside Development Corporation and still caters for the day tripper, although the emphasis has changed to residential needs. It's from Wallasey Town Hall that most of Wirral is now administered. Its southern strip, taking in Ellesmere Port and Neston, is a separate unit within the county of Cheshire. Our story of Wirral past begins at Bebbington Station, not the Merseyrail station of today, but back in 1919 on the London and North Western and Great Western Railway's joint line from Burton Head to Chester, where we board the train to Port Sunlight. Our 3/4-mile journey takes us alongside Port Sunlight village. The Lady Lever Art Gallery is under construction and will be completed in about 3 years' time. In the distance is Christ Church, built for the First Lord Leverhulme at his own expense as an interdenominational church. Today it is United Reformed Church. The circle is for the War Memorial, still to be made for the Great War to end all wars, ended only last year. At Port Sunlight Private Halt, frequent trains offload hundreds of Lever Brothers staff. Some will change onto the train on the bay platform on the left to be taken by Lever's private train and rail network to the Bromborough Margarine Works and Industrial Estate. Opposite the station is the post office, which is still a feature of the village of the 1990s. The Lever Free Library later became the Heritage Centre, and the District Bank has become NatWest. Port Sunlight Fire Brigade also provides a service not restricted to Port Sunlight, and frequent practice is necessary to combat the real thing.